All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back. This is Hidaya. She just recently moved to Austin, and after scrolling through her Instagram, I can say that she loves to dance, sing, bike box, play basketball, does poses and stretches all over swings and in the middle of streets and in parks. I loved her spirit. I loved her energy. I love the story that her Instagram feed told, and I'm really excited to have her on the show tonight so that she can tell some of that story herself. Hidaya, a belated happy birthday to you, and welcome to David's Saturday Night Sit Back.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So you and me, we actually just both got to Austin. When did you get here?
I moved here the first week of February.
And you moved here from?
Boston.
Why'd you move?
Boston is kind of depressing. Like the weather, coming from Africa, Morocco, North Africa, it's always sunny, even in winter. So I spent like 2 years and a half in Boston, and it was really hard for me like to get used to it. Even if it's a short period of the year, I just couldn't. I feel like my mood was never good. It would keep going up and down. I make content, so it's really hard to meet people that do that. There's not a lot of good gyms over there too. So I was like, let me look up somewhere, and I looked up in TikTok the best place to move as a content creator was Austin, and I did it.
Really?
I swear it was like literally a TikTok recommendation.
Now, do you have any idea how TikTok came up with that recommendation?
No, because people put their experiences out there.
Yep.
And when you watch, and especially when people are talking in videos and you can see their facial expressions, you know when they're like genuine or not. And I found like Austin's like there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of people going out, people smiling.
Yep.
Then I feel like it's called the young adult city if you Google it. So why not? And I was like, if I move once, I can move twice. It's fine.
I think that's the nice thing about moving is at the end of the day, if we made a mistake, we can just leave.
Yeah, there you go.
There's nothing holding us
I
here.
didn't sign my contract until I came and stayed 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, let me make sure I like that place first.
So I signed a 9-month lease on mine just because
Yeah.
I figured that's not a huge commitment. So if I
Yeah.
hate it, like 9 months in the grand scheme of life isn't that long.
I signed a
But
year, man.
There you go. Now, it's funny that TikTok gave that recommendation because I landed here by interviewing people one-on-one.
Really?
So I interview people all over the U.S. And whenever I'd ask someone, why do you like North Dakota or wherever the state was, they would give me the answer of either, oh, you should move here because of this, or don't come here. I only live here because my family's
Yeah.
here. But Austin people, every single time consistently, would get super excited and be like, oh, you should move here because of da-da-da-da-da, and they'd have all their reasonly list
Yeah.
out. And so it got me super jazzed to move here.
Yeah.
I've also heard that there's a ton of young people as well.
Yeah,
So.
I haven't seen a lot of old people. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, please, I want to see one old man.
That's so funny. Have you hung out much at Zilker Park yet?
Listen, the day I came here, I started working 2 jobs.
Okay.
I barely have time to sleep, so I haven't went out yet, like a lot. But I feel like once I get a little bit stabilized and... Excuse my English. I'm going to use words that don't even exist but make sense to you.
Please do.
So I feel like in summer I would get a car because it's hard here to move around without a car.
Yeah.
Coming from Boston, it's easy to go around without a car because like transportation is really good in Boston. Here, not so much. But I feel like once I get a car, I'll get more chances to go around and look around the city.
Everything is sort of spread out here. Even
Right?
from here, like I think the closest grocery store is about 12 minutes
Which
away.
is a good thing
and-
if you think about it. It means like less stress. You're like, it's like a little private, but at the same time, you feel like you're outside of the city, but you're still inside of the city.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It is really beautiful here, though. When
Yeah.
I drove in, did you get to the city during the day or at nighttime?
So my plane landed listen, remember the first week of February when like the storm was there?
Yes.
That was the day I landed. Like I think
No.
I think I brought it with me from Boston.
So when you got to wherever you were staying, did you even have power?
My place didn't go out of power, and I'm so lucky because I swear to God, my mental state was not good that week. If I went out of power, I would have packed my stuff and went back to Morocco.
Whew. Yeah, so we had been here about 3 weeks, and coming from California, the only ice we know is in our freezer.
No, coming from Boston, I think I would have been fine.
Well, you would have been fine. So the only thing that really happened that sucked was I didn't realize this staircase out here iced over. So I went to walk the dog in the morning, and we go out the front door, and I put my very first foot on that top step, and my foot flies out from under me, and I fly down the staircase. I have this arm up above my head
my
trying to
God.
grab the railing, and then I cut my hand open from trying to grab the railing. I don't know how I didn't break a bone. I was perfectly safe except for a few cuts.
You know what's funny?
But
You know what's funny? That's
Tell
how I
me.
broke my leg.
A frozen staircase.
I swear to God, it was my first winter in the U.S. That's how I shattered my tibia onto 3 pieces.
Oh my God.
We'll talk about it later, but that's how I broke my leg.
Later. Okay, I don't know if you'll remember this, but back on February 1st, 2015, you posted a quote and you said, "Live that life with the big smile on your face." Do you remember that one by chance?
I don't remember specifically, but to be honest, I've always been this person that smiles a lot. And when I have something like going on in my head, you can see it in my face. And I rarely get offended or mad or upset. So I think I'm a smiley person in general. So I wouldn't be surprised that my 15-year-old self posted that.
You posted it a lot. It was, I don't know how often, like every 30 posts or every couple of months, every couple of weeks. But
I've always liked social media. I feel like I'm a very open person. I'm not a private person at all. And I feel like my parents hate that about me. Because my secrets would always be everywhere. And everybody would be like, "Oh my God, somebody knows this." I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I've always told people how much I get paid, where I'm from, what I do. And I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. If I know it, people could know it. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not a private person, so I've always, like, posting pictures. My mom had to take down my Facebook when I was in middle school because I was posting too much.
You're like posting your home address and
now,
everything.
And now I see that she changed the password. She didn't even take down the account, and she forgot the password. And now I have embarrassing pictures on there. I'm like, please God, help me take this account down because those pictures I do not want on the internet anymore.
That's hilarious. But you're locked out.
Yeah,
Everyone's
I know.
Locked
Every
out,
time I
so
want to make a joke about myself, I go onto those pictures and use it.
That's that's awesome. Where are your parents now?
Morocco.
They're in Morocco. Have they been to the States before?
So I was born here. So they came in like the mid 90s. And I have 2 older brothers. They're born in Morocco. So they came here when they were younger. I was born here, and at the age of 6, me and my mom went back to Morocco, and my dad joined later.
And when did you come back to the U.S.? How old were you?
So I used to come every summer until 2009 because my dad used to live here. But then when my dad went back to Morocco, I haven't visited until 2019. I thought I wanted to live here. I was too young for the responsibility. I packed my bags and went back after 6 months. And I feel like after getting my bachelor's degree in 2021, I felt like it was the right choice, the right decision. It was the right move. I seek change. I don't like comfort. And I like comfort, but I feel like once I feel like I'm getting comfortable, I change because I feel like that's how you grow.
Yep.
And if it makes me uncomfortable, I do it, and then it doesn't make me uncomfortable anymore.
So if you start to feel comfortable, will you let yourself sort of enjoy it for a couple weeks or months, or do you almost feel the need to I need to switch it up?
I enjoy the switch.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's weird how I feel like comfort. We all enjoy comfort, don't we? It's like nature to us. But I feel like that, like, stress and like the feeling you get from being uncomfortable, I feel like it's kind of addicting. And that's why I play football. That's why I do powerlifting. It's that feeling of being uncomfortable. And after that, you're like, oh, God, that made me feel uncomfortable, but I still did it. And I did it good. So if you feel proud of yourself and you do more of it, and I feel that makes me comfortable.
I had a moment in the gym this morning that I'm curious if you can relate to. I was doing the hack squat machine, and it was like my 4th workout in.
I hate that.
I do too. It's terrible. But I was like 3 or 4 reps in, and on the 4th rep, it started to hurt. And I was thinking like, okay, I'll just do more, like 2 more reps. And then at the top, I paused for a second before I went back down for my 5th rep. I didn't smile.
I smile.
I thought to myself, it's supposed to hurt. Like, I'm telling myself, oh, it's starting to hurt, so you should get off. And I'm like, no, I need to power through 5 more, however many more reps my legs can physically do. It's almost like I was looking at it from the completely wrong. I had a moment of, not weakness, but just like I forgot why I was there, if that makes sense.
You know, that's an actual thing we teach clients. It's called muscle fatigue. Your muscle grows when it starts to get stretched and fatigued. And that's like progressive overload. You put a weight on that you know you're going to be tired after 8 reps, and you go for that extra rep until you fail. Yep. And that's how, I feel I get satisfaction from failing. I do not work with weight if I know it's going to be easy. I know, for example, if I do dumbbell bench presses, I always start with 35s, even if it's a little challenging, but I can still do 12 reps. And then I finish with 55 for the 4th set. I only do 4 reps, but those 4 reps come out of sweat, blood, tears, everything. But then I stand up, I'm like, yeah. And I smile because that pain for me is why I do it.
It's why we're there.
Yeah, I like that pain. I feel like it's better. I saw this quote. And it sounds weird when you just hear it, but if you think about it, it's actually true. It's like being a drug addict.
I was not expecting that.
I know. I get this reaction every time I say this to someone.
Tell us how we're drug addicts.
You know those people that cut themselves? Mm-hmm. Why do they cut themselves? For the pain. Right? You see where I'm going.
Yep.
When you go to the gym and you start working out and you know it's going to hurt your muscles and it's going to hurt for days after, but you go for that pain because it helps you. It's the same way. Just one is healthy and one is not healthy. Yeah. Well, overworking out can be unhealthy too, but you know what I mean. It's like the mindset, same way. Just instead of doing it in a drug way and like hurting yourself, you still hurt yourself, but you look good.
You look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
As I'm getting older, my lower back's starting to hurt. Mm-hmm. And after my leg day this morning, I had 6 hours with zero back pain.
But you'll still do it again. Like, even if it hurted, you'll do it again.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Because I think what I'm saying is I almost think it temporarily heals it. Mm-hmm. After a good leg day, it strengthens my core.
Yep.
And then for 4 to 8 hours, depending on the day, my back pain's gone. It's disappeared.
I know. A funny story. When I shattered my leg, the doctor told me I could never lift again. And that disappointed. Like, I'm telling you, this was like life-changing for me. I was like devastated. And my dad calls me, he's like, who's the strongest bench presser in Egypt? I'm like, it's a guy that doesn't have a lower body. He's a half person.
Really?
But he's the strongest, like, bench presser. And I was really weak at bench pressing, and my dad knows that. And he was like, start doing upper body. And I did that for, like, 6 months. And I went from bench pressing not even 10 pounds each side to one plate, 45 each side now. And I could do it for 3 reps. And my pain in my leg always was there when I didn't work out my legs. And my brother's a personal trainer, and he goes, don't listen to the doctor. If your knee hurts, do legs. And I started doing hamstrings and legs, and that's when the pain started going away, even if the doctor told me not to do it. And now I squat more than I squatted before breaking my leg, more weight, more comfortably, maybe less mobility because of the surgery, but I feel like working out does help with pain. And people think if you're like have an injury, you shouldn't lift heavy. If it's not like very dangerous, I think lifting heavy actually helps. I don't know.
I think to a certain extent you have to listen to your body.
Exactly. Like if you know your body.
Yes.
Listen, in Morocco we say "Sawul mzarab ma tsawul tabib," which means ask somebody that had experience and don't ask a doctor.
Yes.
Because the person that had experience, maybe it's not the same experience as you, but they're going to give you like a way of thinking that you didn't think about. And the doctor didn't go through that. They studied through it. It's not experience.
Right.
But when you experience something, you can give people better advice than a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, in general, you know what I mean.
You know, it's funny you bring that up. I'm a pretty healthy person, so I don't have a lot of interaction with doctors. And I went to a doctor recently for a particular issue, and I was really hoping he was going to give me some sort of exercise solution, like go see this physical therapist or do this exercise in the gym. He prescribed me some pills.
No.
It was the last thing I wanted. I was like, no, that's not what I came here for.
I know.
I came here for a referral to a physical therapy clinic or something.
But isn't that what they do in the U.S.? Before moving like to Austin, that's one of the reasons also. I moved here for a lot of like mental reasons. I wasn't feeling good. And after like before COVID, I had like a 2-year gap like from my depression. And that's when I gained all the weight. And then COVID came. I feel like I got better with COVID because I took time for myself, got away from people. And that's when I learned to choose who to interact with because I knew where the problem was coming from. When I moved here, I'm a people's person. I was alone all the time. And it was hard for me. And when I went to the doctor and I talked to him, he prescribed me medicine immediately. He didn't even send me to a therapist. He didn't do anything. He prescribed me medicine, and I didn't take it. And when I went back 1 week before moving to Austin, he saw that I was doing good, and he told me the medication was working. And I was like, let me say yes. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I want to stop it. He goes, no, don't stop it. And I was like, I never even took it, and he prescribed me 25 bottles to bring them with me to Austin.
25?
Yeah, so I can stock them in my house, so I wouldn't run out before I have insurance here.
Wow.
I know, and like they just want to prescribe a medication. There's so many other ways. I've never seen a person that works out and works that's depressed.
It's hard to be depressed when you're accomplishing
when you're
something.
Busy.
Or
how
when
can,
you both.
How can you think about depression when you have 2 jobs? You can barely find time to sleep. I can't think about it, even if I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it, but I can't think about it. I don't have time to think about it, so I forget about it.
You don't have time for your depression.
So I forget about it. And I feel like it works.
I'm depressed, but I don't know because I'm too busy to pay it any attention.
I swear, like
what a takeaway right there of just like if you're depressed, just get busy.
Get busy, because that's that's what you go. What when you get depressed, what's the first thing you want to do? Is sit down and do nothing.
Well, yeah, that's the mental image I get is someone like laying in bed.
Yeah, and that's when you say someone that's depressed. When I was depressed for 2 years, nobody knew I was depressed because I always went out, laughed and stuff, but in the inside I was empty. Depression doesn't mean you're laying in bed and doing nothing and crying and hopeless. You can be depressed and still try to save yourself, and saving yourself for each person is different. For me, if I stayed home and did nothing, I would probably killed myself. I can't.
Yeah.
Me interacting with people and making people laugh is what makes me happy. When I see you laugh because I'm making a joke, that makes me happy. So that makes me feel better about myself, and I think that helps with depression. So working 2 jobs, working out, like going around people that have the same goals as you or the same mentality as you, you wouldn't have time to be depressed. I've never seen someone in the middle of a workout set stop in the middle of set and say that I'm depressed.
Right.
No, I've never heard of that. They usually feel better. So when you're depressed, guys, find something that makes you feel happy. Maybe it's painting, maybe it's running. Do something. Like, don't just sit there and let yourself go into the hole.
Get busy.
Yeah, get busy.
Get 2 jobs.
You won't think
start
about your
working
depression.
No, you won't. Did you struggle with math as a kid?
Math?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My mom is a math teacher. I hated math.
Do you think you hated it because she was a math teacher?
No, I'm just not a school person.
Okay.
And what am I going to do with math? I went to a engineering school. So in Morocco, it's like French style, like academics. It's not like here. You choose what you're going to do in middle school. Like you choose science or physics or literature, or you choose like historicals and stuff. I chose electronics and engineering because it would give me no chance to do medicine or or any of that stuff. And then when I graduated, I went and did English literature.
And is that what your bachelor's is in?
Yes,
Is
English literature, linguistics, and translation.
But now, are you using that now, or because you
No.
mentioned you're currently about to start studying for your personal training certificate, right?
So I was one of those kids that wanted to do everything. And I never knew what I wanted. And I would tell my mom, I want to do this. And then the next week I would do something else. So my mom never cared of what I said. She cared. In a way, when I say she never, like, gave it too much attention because she knew I was going to change my mind.
Right.
And I worked on that a lot. And I always liked sports, but I never thought of it like a profession because where I'm from, especially as a female, it's hard to do that as a profession. And growing up, I've never saw people in my family or my surroundings do it. I'm actually the first female, and I'm the only female in my family that works out. And I have a pretty big African family. And me and my brother are the only people that actually take it seriously. And I got it from my brother. He was overweight. He was almost 200 pounds. And then he lost all the weight, became a personal trainer. And now he's a manager and he's opening his own gym. And I feel like, surprisingly, I want to do the same. Not because of him, but because it interests me.
I saw that you made a post that your brother won his first bodybuilding contest, and you were in your post, you could like feel your excitement oozing out of it. What's your relationship with your brother today?
So one of the things that me and my brother have in common is working out. So every time we meet, the first thing we do is go to the gym together.
Heck yeah.
And he works at a gym. I love gyms. Well, before I started working at Gold's Gym in Boston, he would pick me up twice a week and we would go to his gym. And I would meet his gym friends and stuff. And all our friends go to the gym. And gym rats would know this. If you can't be friends with people that don't go to the gym. Because it's not because of working out or how you look. It's because of the mindset.
Yeah.
When you work out for a long time and you're consistent, it changes your life, the way you think about your job, your family. And I feel like as a person that spends half of my day at the gym and half of the day at my job, which is also the gym, I don't think I could go be friends with someone that parties and drinks, not because don't respect them, it's because where am I going to meet you?
Right.
I'm going to have to change my lifestyle to meet you, and you're going to have to change your lifestyle to meet me, which is, both of them are not good. Even if my lifestyle, I don't think it's better than yours, but I think it's healthier.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to change your lifestyle to be my friend. I want to be with someone that actually does that, and we found that in common. And I feel that's how you advance in life, is by meeting people that are better than you or have the same goal as you.
Tell me if I'm being rude. I'm not even sure if that's the term.
Go ahead.
So I will, if someone reaches out to me and says, can I work out with you? And they don't currently go to the gym, my response to them is always sign up for a membership. work out a minimum of twice a week for a month. And if you can do that, I'll work out with you. Because to your point, if they're brand new, I don't think they're going to stick to it. And I know that's cynical, but I'm like, you need to prove to me that you're serious about making it on your own.
Yeah.
And if you can even get to a month, that's all I'm asking. 4 weeks, I will work out with you 10 times and teach you everything I know.
Yeah, I feel like, well, as I've said, I spend most of the time at the gym. I don't go out. I work 14 hours. I sleep 3 hours. And I breathe the other hours. Like, what I really don't have any time left.
Right.
To meet people. So all the people I know go to the gym already. And it was the same thing in Morocco. It's either my family members, and my family members don't work out. And so all my friends work out. And all the you know how many people I've brought to the gym? That's where I call myself an influencer. Not on Instagram. In real life, so many of my cousins and my friends actually started working out because of me.
That's awesome.
It's because they see how it makes me happy and they want to feel the same way. And some of them don't like it and they don't continue doing it. But most of them do like it. And I feel like that's a good thing.
I was just going to ask you, if you were to go back home to Morocco or wherever it is does that ever cause like a block in your family where they're just like, why is Hidaya always working out? Or
no, they know me. Listen, if somebody knows Hidaya, they know the gym. That's all I talk about. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of my PRs. I do Instagram not because of the followers, because of the content. So anyone that knows me knows my content. It's like you can't know Hidaya and not know the gym. Yep. It's because that's all I do. I really don't. Also, gym rats know this. The gym is not like a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
You eat around the gym. You go out around the gym.
It's so true.
It takes up your whole life. Don't do it, guys. It takes up your whole life. It eats you up. So you either embrace it or you don't. And for me, I feel like maybe when I was in high school, I failed high school because of the gym. I failed. Yeah. I used to. I used to run away from school and go to the gym when I was in high school.
That's like the best runaway story ever.
And my dad would come up and he was like, I'm down at the gym. Come down. And I'm like, he's here again. And I would have to go. And he would come and pick me up and take me to school. Because I would run away from the gym and run away from school, or either go play basketball or go play with the guys or go to the gym. I spent all my time there. And that was the time where I started. I started in high school. And so, yeah. And what was I talking about? I forgot.
So actually, it's really funny. The last question I asked was, what's your relationship with your brother?
Yeah.
But then it evolved to, does your working out cause a rift between you and your family?
No, they know. They know that I have, when I went to Morocco in November for 2 weeks. My dad already had a membership for me.
That's awesome.
And all my friends work out. I took my gym belt, my powerlifting shoes, and all my friends. 50% was to see my parents, and 50% was to work out with my friends, because that's how I bond with my friends, is to work out with them. So you can see one of my posts. It says, traveling 2,000 and something miles to work out with your friends. That's why I go back to my country, is because I want to work out with my friends. So all my family knows. They all know me on Instagram. They all know I work out. It's a part of me. It's not part of my life. It's me. That's
your
who
identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you for a piece of advice?
Mm-hmm.
I just got some powerlifting shoes because they're on sale and they look cool. When should I be wearing? And for anyone listening, if you have a pair of powerlifting shoes, other than just looking cool and they're comfortable,
yes,
when should you technically be wearing them? And is there a time where you shouldn't?
Here's how I explain it to people. You know how when you don't have like a lot of ankle and knee mobility, you put a disc under your feet to squat?
Mm-hmm.
That's what lifting shoes are. You answered yourself.
Huh.
That's what lifting shoes are. It gives you that extra, it's like a heel that gives you that extra mobility for you to squat better and more comfortably. So it's useless to use them anywhere else. Unless if you want to target your hamstrings. For example, when I want to do leg press, when I want to target my quads, I don't wear shoes at all, or Converse or Vans. When I want to target my hamstrings, I put my powerlifting shoes on because it gives me that extra length. Oh. And the more you lean forward, the more you target your glutes and hamstrings. That's why I use my powerlifting shoes. And I have short powerlifting shoes and high powerlifting shoes, because there's like sizes. But once you start wearing them, you see what you're comfortable in, depending on your like mobility. But that's why we wear them. It's instead of putting discs under your feet.
So I wore them all for my entire leg lift today, and it was my first time wearing them.
Yeah.
I wore them for chest yesterday, but I knew it wasn't really going to do anything. I was just like, I'm just going to wear them to break them in and get them used to my foot.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice a huge difference, but I did have a phenomenal lift. And I don't know if it was the shoes or something.
Shoes.
It was the shoes.
It's the shoes.
Okay.
It's not you. It's the shoes.
It's not me. Nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with
Okay,
you.
fair enough.
Not at all. No. Besides squats, maybe deadlifts if you're like really bad at like mobility. You know how you're supposed to keep the bar really close to your chin?
Yes.
Some people can't do that, but when you put powerlifting shoes, it gives you more leaning forward.
Interesting.
So that's how I got my mobility is because I couldn't. Because I'm like bigger than other people, so I have a little tummy that stops me from going all the way forward. So I like using powerlifting shoes in deadlifting. But besides deadlifting and squats, they're kind of useless. Because think about it, what would you do? Why would you wear them on chest day?
To break them in.
Besides breaking them in.
I want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, because what the issue I went to the doctor for is for I plantar fasciitis in my right foot, or at least that's what he told me. So I also just wanted to see, like, you know, if I have would these be a good pair of shoes to be dedicated to the gym versus my walking shoes for the dog when we go on our hikes versus just like my everyday shoes. So I'm, over the last 18 months or so since my foot's been in pain, I'm just always open to the idea of if it makes my foot comfortable. If it does that and nothing else, I'll wear it, powerlifting shoe or not.
I could recommend some shoes.
In case there's someone else listening with foot pain, recommend them now.
No, yeah, well, guys, there's this brand. I think you've heard about it. Most people that work out heard about it. Noble. It's
Sounds very familiar.
A lot. It's like CrossFit Games and everything. They're sponsored by Noble. It's a small Boston brand. It started in Boston, but it's like an athletic brand. They only do athlete shoes, so they're built for feet that actually work out. And you know how most shoes are narrow in the front? That's not how your feet are naturally are. Your feet are supposed to be like this.
Right.
But the shoes make your feet look like this.
Isn't that what Converse does?
Yeah, but that's why I got a bigger size because I grew up with Converse, so my feet are naturally like comfortable in Converse. But my dad always got us one size bigger so we can grow up in them. So I've always been comfortable in shoes bigger than me. But Noble shoes, especially the CrossFit runs and the running ones, they're really, really comfortable.
I wrote it down. I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah, they're a little expensive, but they're worth it.
Okay. If it comes to, I mean, here's the thing when it comes to the price. I'm only 35. He's only 4. So at minimum, I have 10 years of walking him 2 miles twice a day. So these
I was not expecting that.
These feet gotta keep going.
I
just
hear
like
you.
You don't have time to be depressed, I don't have time for sore feet.
I hear you. No, God. I work on my feet 14 hours. Both of my jobs is standing on my feet.
Because you're front desk for one job, right?
Front
at a
desk in
local
one
health
job,
club.
and then a cook in another job.
What kind of food?
It's Greek and Mexican food mixed together.
Okay.
It's like a food trailer. So basically, it's not a food truck because the trailer is huge. So the kitchen size is actually bigger than an actual like restaurant kitchen, but we don't have like a sitting area. So we basically cook in front of people, like all the glass open.
Okay.
And nothing is pre-cooked. Everything is like fresh and cooked. So that's why it's not a food truck. But I also stand on my feet on that, and that shift is like 10 hours or 11 hours. So I need comfortable shoes.
Yes.
Yes, that was the point. I forgot.
Are those Nobles by chance?
I don't buy Nobles personally.
You're recommending
No.
them?
I'm coming. It's because of my injury. It's because of my foot.
Okay,
So
okay, which we'll get
my
to.
foot puffs up a lot.
Gotcha.
And I need shoes that are flexible and like that can expand on my foot like elastic.
Okay.
And Nobles are really like good than to put your feet into place. But for me, like my left foot gets puffed up a little bit more than my right foot. That's why they're like a little, I can't wear those. I wear really specific shoes.
My mom and probably other people have jobs where they're standing all day. What brand of shoes do you wear for your day work?
I like Nike.
Okay.
I like the like lightweight elastic running shoes Nike. They're really comfortable.
Yep.
It's Nike. I don't know.
Just do it.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, in one of your posts, you say, let's not talk about friendship.
I don't know what that was about.
That was in 2015. Were you a little
2015.
angsty in 2015?
No, 2015 was the end of my middle school, and I was bullied by girls in middle school. I was always a tomboy guy. See, I'm calling myself a
You're
guy.
called as a tomboy.
I've always been this tomboy. I've always worn basketball shorts, or remember DC back then, the DC shoes and stuff. And all my friends with guys, and girls would like, not jealous, but they would like, why is she always with boys? And they would have a crush on a guy, and I would be with that guy. So I got bullied, and I never had interest in like dating or anything. I don't date. It's like something, it takes something about time. I don't need it. If I'm not going to marry you, you're not going to come in my life.
Yeah.
And when you choose someone you want to marry, you are very specific about it. So you don't go around dating. And I was like that since middle school. I've had that mindset since middle school. So I've always been around guys. Always. Like basketball, the gym. My friend, I barely have 2 girls that are friends. And those are new ones because I matured and they're the same as me. Most of my friends are guys. So that I tried to have friends that are girls, and they all like turned it around me and did a lot of bad stuff to me. I'm not sure, but that was pretty much what it's about. Because I've never had a problem with a guy.
How old, in 2015, so you, don't tell me, you would have been 16.
Yes.
How, do you remember what how you dealt with that at the time? What kind of mindset you were in? Did it get you upset? Did it just sort of bounce off your shoulder? Like, how'd you react to it?
So, this sounds bad. I'm a people pleaser, but not in the same way I was. Now I know my boundaries. I know my limits. I know what makes me happy and what doesn't make me happy. So I will try to do my best to please you as long as it doesn't hurt me. Before 2015, I wasn't like that. I would do stuff and hurt myself to please people, to make them like me. And because I knew girls didn't like me, I would approach girls a lot. But it would never end well. So that's where it came from.
So before we started recording, we were talking about how when life gives you a test, now that we're a little bit more older, hopefully a little bit more mature, we see it as a good thing. It's life trying to take us to the next level. So now that you're 8 years past that, how do you think that specifically had an impact on who you are now?
Back then, I did not know how to... Okay. I did not know how to make a difference between good and bad people. But encountering so many people that did me wrong like that in middle school and high school, now I see you, I know you. I get the vibe. Because I've encountered so many people. I loved being around people. And it took me like 2 years of being alone, COVID, and I was depressed before that because I gained like 70 pounds, and all my friends were like social media people, and they all left me and stopped being my friends because I gained the weight. That's the bad part about being in social media. And back then it hurt me so much, but I feel like that part is what lets me now know people, is because I've had so many fake friends, and I've accepted anyone and anything in my life just to be around people. And now, being a person that's learned from that, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because now I only have the friends that are actually friends, and I know 100% that they are because they stuck through that part of my life.
Yeah.
And now when I see someone, I know. I get the vibe. And now my friends ask me if somebody's a vibe or not because I'm a professional.
I'm going to start having you pre-screen all my guests for me.
There you go.
I'm gonna say, hey,
I found a new job, guys. My third job.
You have to have a 2-minute call with one of my friends before you can come on the podcast.
I got to see their face expression.
I'll tell them to stop by Gold's. And if they say, oh, I don't work out, I'll say, that's enough. You don't have to do the call after all. That's funny. All right, this is a perfect segue, actually. Would you like to take a quiz of sorts together?
I love quizzes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this one, we're essentially exploring 3 different types of attachment. First one is secure attachment. This is assuming that you're worthy of love. Others can be trusted to give love to you. The belief becomes an unconscious...
This is deep. Bro.
Well, we're 30 minutes in. It's time to get deep.
It's been 30 minutes already?
It's been 35 minutes.
Good company, man.
This belief becomes an unconscious template that trickles into all your relationships, leaving you to give others the benefit of the doubt. You're transparent. You open up. You ask for what you need. You also support others. You assume others like you, and you achieve intimacy. And also, I should point out, this is only platonic friendship. So we're not talking like boyfriends, girlfriends. We're talking your friends, your workout buddies, your coworkers. Second type of attachment we're going to look at tonight is anxious attachment. Assume others will abandon you. You keep yourself from being abandoned, so you act clingy. You're overly self-sacrificing to attach themselves to others. You plunge yourself into intimacy rapidly.
That was old me.
That's going to be old me too. I'm going to answer yes to a few of those. And then avoiding attachment. You're afraid others will abandon you, but instead of clinging, to avoid this outcome, you keep others at a distance. Intimacy is a signal that you could be hurt, so you push others away and assume vulnerability and leave relationships prematurely.
Don't do that, guys.
Don't do the avoiding
Don't do that.
attachment. A few things to note in case anyone takes this quiz with us in real time. This is not a good or a bad. All this is understanding my way of attaching to people, and it's not so I can mentally flog myself. This is simply to illuminate how I attach so we can grow from the awareness and make the kinds of friendships that we value. If we can identify how we attach ourselves to people, it's paving a path and laying the first brick to the relationships we'd like to have in our lives. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So let's jump into it. So for each one, I'll read you 3 different scenarios and you tell us which one you're most related to.
Okay.
First question. Secure. You're comfortable initiating new friendships. Anxious. Fear of rejection, impeded initiation of new friendships, or avoidant. You're completely uninterested in new friendships.
Very comfortable with making new friendships.
We're both secure in that one. Secure. You develop intimate friendships. Anxious. Develop intimate friendships. Or avoidant. You develop shallow friendships.
First one.
Me too.
I feel like we have similar personalities. I don't know.
I think we do in some ways, for sure. Secure. When friends are out of sight, you assume that contact will recommence. Anxious. When friends are out of sight, assume friends don't like you anymore and you become resentful. Avoidant. When friends are out of sight, they are forgotten, maybe even relieved.
I rarely talk to my best friends, and when we talk, it's like we talked yesterday, so I'd say the first one. That's how you know you're an adult. You can't keep in contact with all your friends every time.
Yeah. I would definitely say that on the anxious one when I was younger, and sometimes even today, when friends are out of sight, assume friends don't like them. That's one that I've always had to work on.
I feel like as I said earlier, when your friends are like also have goals to achieve and you have goals to achieve, I don't have time to talk to you 24/7. And they know that and they understand that.
Yeah.
So it's the same. If I have big news, they're the first people I'll call. But what am I going to call and tell you about? I worked 14 hours and slept 3 hours?
I went to work today.
No.
Right.
That's not friendship. I feel like friendship is not being together for a long time. And then when you meet, it's like if you met yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Let's see. Secure. Generous with appropriate boundaries. Anxious, overly generous to the point of self-depletion. Avoidant, not generous with boundaries.
Generous with boundaries. First one.
Same. Let's see here. Secure. Brings up issues level-headedly. Anxious, ignores issues and then blows up over them. Avoidant, ignores issues, minimizes or deflects when others bring up the issues.
I try to be the first one, but I'm in between the first and the second one. But I'll say...
Same. I'm in the middle.
I'll say I'm more of the first one now.
I'm going to put...
It makes me really uncomfortable to tell people that I don't like something about them, but I still do it. Because I know that's the only way to fix the problem.
One thing I'll say about this quiz is that it definitely, just like any kind of personality quiz, it comes with a grain of salt. Because at work, for example, if someone junior to me is not meeting some sort of quota, I want them to succeed, and so I'll call them out very quickly and be like,
and
hey,
people
what can
find
we do
that a
to
little
fix
offensive.
this? And sometimes people like it, sometimes they hate it.
Yeah.
And then there's other family members or friends where it's almost like they have walking on eggshell personalities. So I might see the issue, but how do I approach this one, but in a way I know we can have a discussion and it won't turn into a fight?
Yeah. I think being a Moroccan, you can't have a walking on an eggshell personality. I don't know a Moroccan that has a walking on an eggshell personality.
Everyone's a little bit, I don't even want to say thick-skinned, but
Yeah.
you can tell them the truth and they can take it.
Even if they don't take it, it's not going to be like they're hurt. I feel like that has to do with, like, actually living life. If you've had experience in life, you wouldn't get, like, upset if someone told you that. That's why, like, I feel like most of my family also and my surroundings are not that sensitive either.
That's good.
Yeah, Moroccans are really sarcastic.
Yes.
Our language is sarcastic. Like, our, like, dialect, the one that you couldn't translate, is sarcastic. It's, when you talk, there's no phrase that's direct. It's all, like, metaphorical. So being like talking like that, I feel like it builds like a tough skin.
Yeah.
And growing up like with your parents being really sarcastic even when they're mad. Yeah. I feel like
some people find this funny. We were also talking before starting to film that I tried Google translating some Moroccan, and the closest that Google could get to suggesting was that it was French.
Yeah. Well, we were colonized by France, so we use a lot of French in our language.
It makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, we use a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English, a little bit of Arabic, a little bit of... It's just the way we write it doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. The way we write, it's like a mix between letters and numbers, which doesn't make sense.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Secure. You're comfortable being vulnerable. I almost feel like with you, we could stop there. You're pretty comfortable being vulnerable. But just for fun, anxious, you overshare, and avoidant, you feel weak whenever you're vulnerable.
You know what? I do think sometimes I overshare. I'm comfortable with it, but I feel like people do find that weird that I overshare, and they're not like okay with it. Not because I give them, it's because they think it's too much. Like, some people think it's too much, and I've had a lot of people in my life tell me that I'm talking too much, or I'm talking too loud, or I'm sharing too much, and they don't like that. Those people are not in my life anymore, but it still makes me anxious sometimes.
Yeah.
But I still do it. It's funny how I was the only one that you thought you had 100% sure.
This will be my first one. I will go ahead. You can mark anxious. I'll mark anxious for you, and I will mark avoidant for me.
It's funny. Every time I meet someone new, especially a potential, like, somebody in a relationship, every time I start talking too much. And there was always at some point of the beginning of the conversation to say, sorry, I'm talking too much. But I'll keep doing it. But I'll just say, sorry, I'm talking too much. If that person seems like uninterested, bye. But I'll still do it. But I still have to apologize for some reason. Because I grew up where my parents and a lot of family members told me I talk too much. And they would, like, under the table tell me to stop talking. So it's still inside of me, even if I know it's wrong.
I wonder if when you say you're sorry, you're not apologizing, you're just acknowledging, I'm very excited to be talking with you. I know that excitement is coming out. You're not really apologizing,
No, I'm not
you're just
apologizing.
acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just acknowledging.
But that's the right way to say it, sorry. Like, I don't know how any way else to say it besides, sorry, I'm talking too much while talking too much.
I guess you could just say, I know I'm talking a lot. It's because I'm excited.
That's giving them too much.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
Let's not make them feel too good, okay?
All right, for sure. We'll just keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. All right, secure. Your friends know all sides of them. Anxious, your friends know all sides of them. Avoidant, your friends only know the positive or strong side.
Of me?
Yep.
No, they know everything. I tell them everything. I can't shut up. If I have a problem, I have to say it. Or it eats me on the inside. I can't keep secrets.
I think I'm a secure on this one as well, but if one of my friends listens to this and you think I'm avoidant, let me know. The reason I thought this one was interesting because secure and anxious were the exact same. It's both friends know all sides of them, but I almost wonder if the anxious is almost alluding to you're still choosing which sides to a certain extent.
Yeah. And I feel like I have to show everything or show nothing. That's my personality. Like, it's hard for me to know what to show and what not to show. Maybe now that I'm far from my friends, because I still don't have any close friends here in the U.S., I would call my friends and tell them about my problems after I figured it out, which is different than when I was next to them. I would call them immediately and, like, ask for their opinion. But now it's hard because we don't live the same lifestyle. They don't have the experience of living in another country alone. So I feel like talking about it was only going to make it worse. And after I've been through a lot the last 2 months, I've told my friends everything, but after, like, I settled down.
Yeah.
But I still told them everything. It takes time.
You're secure on that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Secure. Comfortable asking for support. Anxious feels that asking for support will make you a burden. Avoidant fears asking for support will make you look weak.
Second one. Definitely. Even asking for a spotter at the gym.
Yeah, I'm going to mark the same on that one. Mm-hmm. Same, yeah.
I feel like that's normal. I don't know.
It's funny, even because, like, when I go on vacation from work, even though I've covered for coworkers, I still feel bad asking them. I think some of my coworkers might be comfortable asking for support. There's some people who could identify with that one. It's just not you and me.
I feel like once you live alone for a long time, it's hard to ask for help.
Yes.
It's really hard. And I always feel like I'm a burden, even if I know I'm not. Like, I know some of my closest friends wouldn't mind helping me. They would be happy to help me, but I still feel really bad about asking them, so I end up offering something in return. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely, I always think about being a burden.
Why do you think we share this? Why do you think we feel like that? Why do you think you feel like that? I'll leave myself
Okay,
out of
listen,
it.
I think it comes from, it's not trauma. I don't think I'm traumatized. I think it comes from, like, the way my parents raised me. I was raised to never, like, accept anything from anyone. My culture, yeah. If you have a child and you go to a house, you know you told your child not to touch anything if they offer you to eat something. So I always grew up being compared to my cousins. Oh, look at your cousin. She never touches anything or she never accepts gifts or anything when she goes to people's houses. And I'm always like, oh, thank you.
But you were telling me when we had dinner, isn't that sort of counterproductive because the culture's so giving?
Yeah, well, it's giving, but the way your parents raise you is to give so much and not take so much.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's why someone visiting, like if I was to visit, I would feel like it was just a very giving culture. But if I was born there,
Yeah.
I would be the giver, not the
Yes,
receiver.
exactly. That's why there's always that, oh, you're inviting me, even you fed me, I'll invite you next week. And that keeps going like that.
Gotcha.
Not because I feel bad for you giving me something, it's because I was a burden when you invited me, even if you invited me.
Right.
And now I have to give it back. And I think it's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, in other parts of life, it might, like, do what it's doing now. Yeah.
It's good for us to be able to ask for help. And not
I
feel like a
try.
burden, especially if we need it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it might just be me. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I think every now and then someone just, you really need that shoulder to lean on.
I can think of, because I've been, okay, I've said this like in my last post. It's in Moroccan, so I'm pretty sure you didn't understand it.
Nope.
But
I tried to Google it.
the big paragraph.
Not that one.
Okay, no, I
Nope.
just posted this like yesterday. One of the hardest 2 months of my life was January and February.
So right before the move?
Before and during the move. Those are like a lot of problems all came at once. And believe it or not, the only people that I didn't even ask for help, they offered, was my parents. My siblings were there and they could have helped me a lot, but I still didn't ask for help. They don't even know what happened to me until now. They're going to probably watch this like, what the hell is she talking about? Yeah, they don't even know what I've been through. All they know is she moved and she's happy. But I don't know why. It was the first time of my life where I don't know. It was so much problems at once where I felt like I couldn't even tell people because I would feel like it's a burden telling them what's wrong with me. And I figured it out. You ended up by figuring it out, but it could have been easier if I asked for help. Definitely, now that I think about it, yeah.
So in hindsight, like if you found yourself in a similar situation 1 year from now,
I wouldn't ask for help.
why not?
I don't know. I feel like because the harder way makes me a stronger person.
Yes, in some ways.
I feel like I've learned so many things by doing it alone and going through the hard path. It's like when you walk on rocks, your feet are going to get tougher.
Yes.
But when you walk on a regular like floor, you can walk a long way but still feel good. But it doesn't change you. You still feel the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I took the harder way and it helped me a lot. Maybe it could have been easier, but it's okay. We don't always have to seek easy.
What do you mind if I ask? What were some of the challenges that you faced in those 2 months?
Oh, God. Okay. I was going to move to Dallas, and I let go of my apartment, and then the person I was moving in blocked me, so I had nowhere to go. And then I got fired, and then I didn't have enough money to move.
Oh no!
And I had to
so you
figure
had no place to go, no
job,
income.
alone in a country. Well, I had my 2 siblings, but I didn't include them in anything.
Were they in Boston at the time?
Yes, and I didn't ask for help or anything. And I moved to Austin, out of everything.
Because of TikTok.
And that TikTok, yes. And that was the time where I got famous on Instagram too, where I went from 13K to 85K. I was putting myself in those videos, forgetting about real life. And it worked.
Interesting. So it wasn't in... I jotted a date down. Let me find it. Was it around February 10th when you started posting again after that 2-year block? So August 13th you made a post?
Yes, that was when I broke my leg.
And then you didn't post again until February 10th.
So my phone got stolen in COVID. And
oh no.
yeah, it was a new iPhone 11, a yellow one too.
They make yellow iPhones?
The iPhone 11,
Like a banana yellow or?
Yeah, like a banana yellow. Not the Pros, the regular ones, they have colors. The 11 and the 12, they have colors.
I've always just had black or silver.
I had the yellow one, and because it was so flashy, it got stolen. And my account had like double authorization to it, so I couldn't access it because I lost the number too. And I tried so many times to get it. I was so devastated that I lost my 10K back then. Devastated.
But you didn't start a new account, right? You were able to get access?
I lost my sponsorships. I lost my friends. I lost everything when I lost that account because everything was based on my Instagram, which is, now that I think about it, was crazy. But I think it's good that my phone got stolen and that I lost my Instagram for 2 years because once I came back, because when I had Instagram, I was so self-conscious. I hated the way I looked, even if I was skinny. I hated myself so much. I would never wear shorts. And then past 3 years now past that, I'm 75 pounds heavier and I'm 100% more confident than I was back then. It's because I've lost that Instagram.
Do you feel like you got more confident because life forced you to be off social media, or what happened during those 2 years where you accepted how you looked?
It came gradually. I didn't purposely do it. COVID came. It was powerlifting. I used to work out before losing my Instagram. I did it solely for social media. And as I said, I love people's approval. So I was fake. I used to do it and not be myself. So my Instagram never actually did good because I was always copying people and not being myself.
Interesting.
If you want to do social media and be a content creator, you got to be yourself. Because that's the only way you're going to shine is by actually showing your personality. That's what people want to watch. Yeah. No matter what you're doing, it's the personality that brings the people, not what you're doing.
Yeah.
So when I lost Instagram and COVID came, I bought like stuff at home, a dumbbell, a bar, and plates. And I started doing a lot of lightweight, high reps because I didn't have another choice. When I got back to the gym, I accidentally deadlifted 100 kg, which is 200 pounds, 210 pounds by accident. And
how do you deadlift 200 pounds by accident?
And I was fasting. It was Ramadan. I remember it very specifically. Yeah.
So you were low on energy. You had never done it before.
Dehydrated.
Did you just keep adding a couple more pounds?
It was my friend's deadlift. It was my friend's deadlift, and it was 2 plates of 20s and of 45s, and I thought it was 2 plates of 25. And I lifted, and it was really easy for me.
Was it the thin plates? Is that why you couldn't tell?
Well, in Morocco, you don't have the same plates as here. They all look the same. You never know what is what.
Got it.
Okay. And my friend, and it was in a video call, and my friend turns up and she's like, "Is that 210 pounds?" And I'm like, 215, and I was like, no. He's like, yeah. And I was like, you're strong. And I was like, let me try this. And I added more, and it was not as good as a form, but that's when I started powerlifting. And I feel like being on the heavier side, walking into a gym, you always feel subconscious because everybody looks better than you, even if you're really good at something. But then when you start doing that thing, it brings you the confidence. So that's what happened to me. I would walk into a gym, see girls that are skinnier than me. I would feel bad. I would lift, feel strong as hell. I feel like a beast and start walking like Hulk, and then I'll feel good about myself. And gradually I stopped thinking about it. And that's how I got back the confidence by powerlifting.
After 17 years in the gym, one thing that I've learned is to never judge a book by its cover, especially for I can't call him my lifting buddy because we've only lifted once.
He's your lifting buddy, listen.
My buddy Julian, he lives here in Austin. We met maybe 3 weeks ago. We lifted once together. We are probably going to lift this week. But he's 18. He is, if I had to guess, 150 pounds. If you saw him on the street, you'd be like, yeah, that guy works out. But then he goes in the gym. And he just throws 3 plates onto the squat rack and starts repping it out like it's air. Yeah. And I'm like, what the F, dude?
That's the point of my Instagram. So when people see me at first sight, like, oh, she's learning how to work out. She's on a weight loss journey. And then they watch me. They're like, oh, wait, no, she's teaching. Cow. She's showing me what to do.
Right.
And I have so many messages. Because people don't write this in comments. Because they don't like showing that they were wrong. People message me. I swear to God. They're like, when I first saw you, I judged you. And I was like, she needs to lose weight. And then They see you watch their stories for like 5 or 6 days because I'm really active on stories. They watch my posts and they see how I work out. I'm really healthy. I eat good. But my weight happened because of something else, not because of what I'm doing now. And I'm trying to fix it for health reasons. But that doesn't mean I hate myself because I want to change it. Most people want to change themselves because they hate it. For me, I feel like I'm at a good point in my life where I want to lose weight, but not because I don't like myself. And when I walk into a gym, everybody's like, oh, she's going to learn how to work out. And I always wear sweatpants over my booty shorts. And I take the sweatpants on, she's like, wait, she's wearing booty shorts. And girls that wear booty shorts, they know what they're doing. And then I start squatting 30 plates. I always squat the first time I go to a gym because that's how I prove like I know what I'm doing. So everybody thinks I'm new. I want to lose weight. And then I start working out. And those people come up to me for advice after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone messages you one of those apologies on Instagram, do you respond? And
Yeah.
if so, what do you say?
It depends. Like, I'm a very open person. I don't mind talking about this stuff. So most of my comments are hate comments because I'm a Muslim Arabic girl.
See, and it's so, not to interrupt you, it's so funny because I love scrolling through your page.
I know.
Like, to me,
It's
and
because
I
they don't
messaged
scroll.
you. I messaged
It's
you
because they don't
afterwards.
scroll.
And after I went on that journey, well, of course, I also went down to literally the very bottom.
Literally.
You saw the picture. But your page was so positive between even the pictures in like 2016 and 2017 where you were like, darkness resides inside of me. You know, I don't know. There is just, your page was so motivating. And it's funny to hear that from other people's perspective. They're intimidated by it,
because they're intimidated.
or even like even from your pictures. We were talking about this at dinner. You can't even tell what the ethnicity you are through your pictures. You really have to hear your voice and see your name and sort
That's
of.
another comment I get a lot. They think I'm American because you can see, when you see a video, you know if it's in Morocco or not. The structure of the buildings, the walls, the floor. There's no wooden floors in Morocco, so you know when you know. Okay, so if it pops up in their feed, they're like, okay, what is this? Why is this popping up in my feed? She's not Moroccan. I'm not going to understand English. And then I open my mouth and I speak Arabic. And they're like, whoa, wait a second. What is happening? So that's one of the comments I get a lot, too. Because they don't know. They think I'm American or Hispanic. And then I start talking Moroccan. And that's one of the reasons why people follow me. It's because I speak Arabic.
When you have as big of a following as you do, does Instagram give you any kind of stats as to
Yeah, I'll show you.
So what kind of information does it give you?
It gives you what are the most cities that are following, the gender, the
What
age.
cities? What cities?
It's
and
the city
ages. Cities and
I'll
ages.
show you.
I'm so curious.
Okay. We have something that's called professional dashboard. Insights. Okay.
Not to make you think and work at the same time, but at what point does Instagram
can
give
do
you a
both. I'm a
professional
good-
dashboard? At what point does Instagram give you this professional dashboard?
So when you go in settings on Instagram, there's personal account
Okay.
or business account.
You just switch it to business?
Yes, but now after
Oh.
Reels started, there's creator.
Oh.
After Reels, because before Reels, there's no creator on Instagram. You couldn't get paid on Instagram.
I feel like LinkedIn just started doing that.
Yeah. So
I wonder who was
even on
first,
business,
Instagram or
you
LinkedIn?
only have insights. So there's something else you don't know. When you swipe up on your story, there's insights over here.
Interesting.
And that gives you how many accounts have reached it, engaged, followers, non-followers, like people that actually engaged, shares, replies. But they don't tell you who did what.
Sure.
Well, that would be crazy, man.
Yes, it
Imagine-
could you imagine
Sharing
the
someone's
names?
story.
Oh my
Damn,
God.
no. Okay.
All right, so cities and ages. Give us some of that, the
Okay.
juicy stuff.
The juice.
I'm curious to see since you know this already, are mostly ages people around your age, or is it pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny, before I started like showing people how to work out, and I just posted my pictures and stuff, I had mostly men that are following me. Now it's mostly women, which is good.
Interesting.
Which means that it's working. Okay, top cities: Casablanca,
Okay.
Marrakesh, Fez, and Seli. They're like cities in Morocco. Top countries: I have Morocco, France, Spain, and America.
America's fifth.
Last, yes, 2.9%.
Interest. 2.9 of your followers is America. The
Yes.
rest is the other four.
68.7 is Morocco.
Okay.
That's why I don't
But
get
that makes sense
sponsorships.
because
That's why I don't get the language.
Yes.
And
that makes
I
a
don't
ton
get
of sense.
I don't get sponsorships here because of that. It's because anything that I would do here is hard for them to ship to Africa. And also any like, how to say, any company from Morocco, it's hard for them to ship here. So it's hard for me to get any sponsorships.
Interesting.
Which is fine. Age range, 18 to 24, 42%.
Okay.
25 to 34, 34%. 13 to 17, 10%, thank God. 35 to 44, 9.5%, thank God. 61.9 women, 38% men.
Say that one again.
61.9 women.
Okay.
And 38% men.
Got it.
My followers is only 73K. 545K is non-followers of my engagement.
So people who see your stuff maybe like it, maybe comment, but they never actually follow your account.
And people keep wondering, why do you pop up on my feed all the time? It's because you're commenting, why do you pop up on my feed?
Instagram is crazy because even with this new account, I've noticed it's already morphing to certain things. And I'm like, no, stop it. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to have
Don't comment and don't like stuff that you don't want them to pop on your feed.
But all right, so let me run this by you, though. There have been people who I direct messaged to come as guests on the podcast and they didn't respond, but then I made a couple comments and then all of a sudden they responded.
Yeah, it's because so when you have a lot of followers, there's regular requests, there's primary, and there's requests. When you go on requests, there's the regular ones, and if you scroll all the way down, there's hidden requests.
Would those be people like me? I'd show up in your hidden.
That's where I found you. So, but most people, they have so many messages that a lot of the messages will go down. So I check them every 5-10 minutes. It's like a habit to me anymore. But most people don't have that habit.
You know what's funny, though, is most people, though, that I'm going after, is I told you, it's a lot of everyday people.
Yeah.
Even you with 90,000 followers.
Yeah.
I'd still, you're very down to earth, very...
That's my personality. I don't think it's down to earth. It's my personality.
Most of the people I'm messaging to be guests on here are like 1,000 to 20,000 followers. So I'm like, am I really getting buried in your messages?
Yeah.
Are you getting that many?
No.
I can understand.
Probably, some people think, when I told my friends, they thought you were a scam.
Well, now we have pictures and video and
no, but
it's real, everybody.
As I told you, when you do social media, you know when you know.
Right.
You know when you know. I saw your account, especially when you sent me the video. Your voice sounded like someone that does a podcast or want to do a podcast.
A punk rock bass player told me that the other day.
That's a compliment.
I was like, hey, dude, I'm doing this podcast. He's like, yeah, man, you're perfect for that. It's like, yeah, sure.
Especially the beard and the...
Bearded men do podcasts.
There's a lot of bearded men that do podcasts.
Great.
You look like a friendly person. You look like a approachable person.
Well, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay, I feel like it might drive people crazy if we don't finish the quiz, and I think we're only like 2 or 3 questions away.
I forgot about that quiz. That's how much I talk. I told you about talking.
No, this is good, though. It's been organic. Okay, we only got... Where's my mouse? We got just a couple more.
Yeah.
Okay, so secure. You're comfortable providing support. Anxious, comfortable providing support, but may get overly involved and push my own advice or break down over it. Avoidant, feels burdened when others need you.
Secure.
I
love giving support. That's like, it brings me happiness to me.
Same.
Remember the post you asked me about? Don't expect people to give you when you give.
Yes. There you go.
There you go.
Secure. Prioritize his own needs and others' needs. Anxious.
Oh, repeat that?
So secure. You prioritize both your needs and others' needs. Mm-hmm. Anxious. When triggered, you prioritize your own needs over others. Otherwise, you prioritize others first over yourself.
Honestly. Go ahead.
And then the third one, it might be you. The third one might be you too. The third one is prioritize own needs over others.
No. I wish. No. It's the second one, and I'm working to go on the first one. To be honest, it's the second one. But I'm really working hard on going on the first one, because I feel like that's a good balance. If you're there in your life, good for you.
I feel like I might be in this one. Secure, prioritize his own needs and others' needs. I think I'm there.
Good for you.
I think.
No, I'm definitely the second one. I think about people way too much until I feel like I'm hurt, and that's when I start thinking about myself, and that reminds me to think of myself. But I feel like now I'm working on the first one, but I'm still at the second one.
Secure. You're comfortable admitting fault. You can take responsibility. Anxious. when you admit fault, you're overly self-critical of yourself. Or you can see the other parties being at fault instead. Avoidant, you deny fault. You see the
Second
other
one.
party as fault.
Second one, definitely.
Second one.
100%. Working on it.
Me too. I'm the second one.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's just
When admits fault, I am my biggest self-critic.
Me too.
That's why I'm saying yes to anxious on this one.
my mom always tells me that. She's like, "You're the kindest person to everyone you know, but you're not kind to yourself."
I definitely need to be kinder to myself.
You do.
Yeah. No, I'm anxious
Like
on that one
if
for
somebody
sure.
fails a PR, I'm like, "That's good. That's a lesson." For me, I will not talk to myself for a week.
Yo, same.
I'll be mad at myself. I have people telling me, "Why are you mad every time I go?" Explain this to me, please. I seek failure while working out, but when I fail, I'm mad at myself. I work till failure, but when I fail at the end, which is good, I still am angry at myself that I couldn't go more. Yeah. How do you expect to understand me when I don't understand myself?
It's just the self-critical part of us. There's something about seeing one of my friends try their best where that's good enough to praise it. But when I try my best, it's like,
it's
why
not a
can't
bad thing.
Well, because the silver lining is it pushes us.
We always want better.
Yeah.
And that's how you get better. I feel like once you know you're good and you stop, like, criticizing yourself, you're not going to improve. You're going to stop seeking improvement.
Yeah, I don't want to be satisfied.
Exactly.
But I think
it's
there's
a
a
good
healthy...
thing.
Let's go with that. We're a healthy anxious. A healthy anxious and a healthy depressed. Secure. You're authentic and genuine. Anxious, inauthentic in order to get others to like you. Avoidant, inauthentic to avoid uncomfortable feelings. You can be sarcastic or humorous when serious topics arrive.
Talking about, I said this earlier, I switched from 2 to number 1 gladly.
Secure, happy for your friend's success. Anxious, jealous for your friend's success. Avoidant, jealous of your friend's success. Feel like you are more deserving.
Oh, happy for my friend's success, of
Me
course.
too. I love it. I love it.
Sometimes I get excited more than they do.
This one's interesting. Secure, seeks relationships of mutual agency. Anxious, lets others dominate you. Avoidant, you seek to dominate others.
First one.
Me too.
We're healthy people.
So far.
He's like,
Or we're in denial
wait a
lot.
second. Wait a second.
I'm not healthy. I'm supposed to be messed up. Secure. You are a direct communicator, anxious, passive-aggressive, or hostile, avoidant, lack of communication. You can ghost people or withdraw.
First one.
Secure. Trust that others love and care for them. Anxious. Assume that others don't like you or care for you. Avoidant. Assume if others show they like you or care for you, they must have ulterior motives.
Okay, this is hard to answer.
This is a hard one for you.
Because me, like real me, is the first one. But reality me is the last one. But I don't know which one to choose. I feel like me as a person, because this is like a personality test, I would say the first one. Can you read the first one again?
Yeah. So first one was you trust that others love and care for you. The third one was that you assume if others show you that they like you or care for you, it's because they have ulterior motives.
Definitely the first one. I'll explain why. The first one, because that's my initial thought. And then when something happens, I start thinking about the third one. But I always start a relationship or a friendship with the first one.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the grain of salts that I like that this personality test gave as a preface is that a lot of times if you're short on time, you may come off as avoidant. So like if you're rushing in between jobs, you might answer a text and be short, but you're not being short. You're trying to be a friend by responding to the text. But then the friend might get the text and be like, that's not how she would normally talk. Why is she being mean? Or why is she being short? Where you're not. You know what I mean?
I've never thought about it like that.
Sometimes we're just short on time.
I don't answer.
I do sometimes.
I feel like, also, as I said earlier, I really don't have that much people around me anymore because I can't think about stuff like this.
Yeah.
this takes a lot of energy. And energy.
This quiz?
No, like the thinking about how you text people and stuff.
Oh God, I was like, I'm sorry. We'll move on.
No, like having friends that you have to think if you're short texting or not short texting. Like, why would I have friends around me like that?
You don't want them to be that sensitive.
They're not.
Yeah.
You're not supposed. Like, you know me, and you know who I am. I don't answer you. I have friends that I don't answer for days, and then they'll call me like, "You didn't answer." I was like, "I forgot," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I understand," because they really know I forgot. And if I had someone that would actually make a problem out of that situation, I wouldn't be friends with them.
That's why I think it's so important to know what a secure friendship looks like. So not only can you try to foster that for yourself, but also so you see it in your friends. Because I'm the same way. I would want, like my brother, I'm 3 days overdue calling him back, but he knows I'm in Austin. I'm starting the podcast. I have a full-time job. I don't think he's at home freaking out right now because it's been 72 hours.
Yeah.
He knows I'll call him back.
Yeah. I used to talk to my brother like once every 3 days. I haven't called him in 2 weeks. He calls my parents and he asks them if I'm okay, because I do talk to my parents every day. But he knows that I'm busy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't bother me. Because he knows that every time he calls me, I'm working. And I have to tell him, I'll call you back, and I forget to call him back. So he just wants me to know if I'm alive or doing okay. He calls my parents. Or my parents just watch my stories, and they know I'm alive, and they don't call me. If my parents don't call me and I don't answer, they watch my stories. They know if I'm alive or not. They know I'm fine.
That's actually really an interesting way to use your kids' Instagram. Is just like, oh, we haven't heard from them in 2 days. Let's just check.
Especially, I use it a lot. I post about everything and anything, especially my stories, because I like people to feel like to live my life.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm a Moroccan that lives in the U.S. with new experience, and not a lot of people get to live that experience. So sharing little details that you think they're normal for you, but others, they don't live that. They don't even think about that. So it's something interesting for them to watch.
Yeah.
So that's why I post a lot, so my parents also know I'm alive because of that.
I want to be respectful of your time. So for the sake of knowing if I should cut out some questions or not, it's 7:55 right now.
It's my day off.
It's your day off today.
I haven't talked in a while. I haven't had a conversation in a while.
Are you enjoying yourself?
I am enjoying myself.
Okay,
I told you,
good.
one of the best activities for me to do is talk.
You should start a podcast.
I love talking, man.
Would you start a fitness podcast, or do you think that would be too niche?
No, I would. A lot of people ask me to start YouTube and do fitness. I would never do YouTube for fitness. I don't know why.
You'd rather open your own gym.
I would rather, because I feel like I don't know why I've never wanted to do YouTube as a fitness influencer or anything. I would do YouTube for food. Like travel, cooking, traveling, trying food. Something that would make me interact with people. I feel like Instagram is my fitness. If I do TikTok, it would be funny stuff. If I do YouTube, it would be traveling or lifestyle or vlogs or stuff. And they would know I work out, but that wouldn't be the base of my YouTube. And also, if I ever start a podcast, it would be about talking about life and stuff like that. Because I think I have a fair share of experience about myself, and I'm a good judge. People actually come up to me for advice. People that know me or watch my stories. I have people that send me messages that I've never talked to my followers. They tell me about their problems, and they expect me to give them advice. And I answer as much as I can. But I feel like for some reason people like the way I talk, and because I'm so open about my experience. I've had a girl text me yesterday. She shattered her tibia. And the first person she thought about was me.
You.
And she asked me what I did when I just started to help her. And that warms my heart, because it's my mom tells me I overshared it. But now somebody came up to me and had the same experience, and they're asking me how I dealt with it. Which is, I feel like that's why I want to start a podcast.
Selfishly, now that I know we work out at the same gym, I'm about to have you correct my deadlift form.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I'm about to show up. We're going to do a leg day together.
I worked out with a coach called me. You know how Gold's Gym, when you get a new membership, you get a free,
Right.
That person called me and told me, I want to work out with you. And I was like, want to train you? I was like, I'll work out with you. You're not going to train me because I'm going to work there in a week. I'm going to be your coworker. Let's work out together. I corrected their deadlift form.
You know what's funny about that is that I never use mine, because the only reason I would use it is if I could say, I want you to critique my squat and my deadlift. I'm afraid that free session is just going to be a way to get me to buy more personal training, and that's why I never used it.
So, personally at my gym, all the personal trainers are good personalities. They're funny, weird people. I feel
Perfect. I love weird.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Great.
If you're not weird, I don't want you in my life, okay? Because it brings like joy and happiness, and weird people are like themselves. That's how you know they're weird. If somebody's not weird, they're not themselves, because everybody has weird in them.
They're putting up a wall.
Exactly. I don't need that wall in my life. So if you're not weird, no thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all of like the people that work at my gym, they're all like weird, nice people. And when you work out with them, you don't just get like a workout session. You actually get like a therapy talking session.
Yeah.
A client the other day, because I'm still at front desk, she was like, "Where's Casey?" And I was like, "Hi, Casey." I was like, "He's with a client." She's like, "I'm hungover, and the first person I thought to come work out with is Casey because I have a good conversation with him." And that like is good to have. So if you don't know how to work out, actually go seek help for like coaches, because that's their actual job, and they do that for a long time, and they also want to enjoy it.
I feel like personal training is 50% about the physical. It's 50% getting ready to hear your client talk about whatever's on their mind that day.
And I feel like personal trainers are all very sociable. You can't be a personal trainer if you're not sociable.
No.
It would be, I don't know a personal trainer that's not sociable.
Or at least empathetic. You have to, like a mix of both maybe.
I don't think you should be too empathetic when you're a personal trainer, because you can't let those feelings affect you in the way you push that client, because that client actually hired you because they couldn't push themselves. It's not because they don't know what to eat. For me, I have a personal trainer. He's online. He's really harsh with me. He makes me cry sometimes. The way he talks, he's not sensitive at all. But I feel like that's what I needed, because I can't do that for myself. Even if I know what to eat, know how to work out, I teach people how to do that. But I still need someone to be harsh with me, because we're not harsh with ourselves.
Yeah.
Even if you are in a way, but you fall into pleasure a lot, and that pleasure for me is food.
I wonder if that's something I need, is to get a coach that would
Maybe
be
in the beginning
harder on me than I would be on myself, is like my new taking my fitness to the next level in 2023.
Yeah, definitely.
I would just be picky about who it would be.
Definitely. You should be picky, because you're spending time and a lot of money on that person.
Yeah.
It's expensive to have a personal trainer, especially if they're not online. If it's like actual personal training in life, like what am I saying? In real life.
That's what COVID did to us.
I know. In real life.
If you had a real,
you had to specify
if there was a human being with you.
So it's expensive. It costs a lot of money. It's like $150 for 1 hour.
Right.
But you feel mentally good, and you know that person is being rude to you, not because they're mean. It's because that's why you hired them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we finish the quiz or no?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Let me give you the results.
You were not going to give me the results?
No, I was.
Okay.
16 questions total. You had 12 for secure, 4 for anxious, 0 for avoidant. I had 13 for secure, 12 for anxious, 1 for avoidant. So overall, the consensus would be that we're both relatively secure in how we form friendships.
That's what's up.
With room for improvement.
Of course.
Which is great.
There's always room. This is what we said in the beginning.
If we both got 16 out of 16 on secure, I'd say we're either liars or
sociopaths.
Yeah.
I'd probably be killing people on the side, like serial killer.
I would hope
that's a hobby. No, not killing people. Watching true crime.
This got honest quick. Let's go back to fitness while I dial 911. That was funny. Okay. One of the biggest questions I wanted to ask you tonight was that on your Instagram you made maybe 1 or 2 posts about an injury. You didn't talk a lot about it. I could tell based off your eye, I thought
2 posts was too much. This is what I feel like I'm a burden. See? You said a little. I'm like, you mean a little? I try not to talk about it because I feel like talk about it too much.
Well, maybe it's because I don't. Maybe you feel like you talk about it too much with your friends and family. But if you only know you from Instagram, I couldn't even tell what the injury was. I was like, was it a car accident? Was she jumped in an alley? Was she attacked by a bear? I couldn't even figure out. I knew it wasn't that. But I had no idea. I can't tell what the injury is.
That's interesting.
I could only tell something crazy went down.
I slipped on
around
black
2020.
I slipped on ice.
Okay.
And I shattered my leg. I don't know how.
What year?
Happy New Year, January 1st, 2022.
Okay, so January.
Literally January 1st.
That was only 14 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's go back to January for a second. What was that first month? Were you in the gym at all?
I fainted at the gym because I tried to go to the gym when I was on Oxy because of pain.
How many days after your injury were you back to the gym?
A week.
Yes!
I was yelled at by my brother. I made my sister-in-law take me.
Your brother that won the competition?
Yeah.
So no, I'm assuming your family didn't want you going back yet.
They didn't even try to tell me no because they knew it was pointless. But I still did it, and I fainted in the shower. And my sister-in-law kept waiting for me outside.
Did you take a few days off after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went back again. And then I took my brother with me. And he started taking me to his gym. But I wasn't on Oxy anymore. I think it was the Oxy that made me faint. Because it was like the steam and like I've been studying for 2 weeks in the hospital. And then I just get up and go to the gym. I think it was my body wasn't used to that like motion. And then with the oxycodone. What are you Googling?
No, I'm not Googling it. I'm writing down a question I want to ask later.
Okay.
Was there ever a point where you felt this, like, I'm giving up?
Oh, no.
No.
No. My doctor told me I could start using my leg a little bit after a month. I didn't use it for 3 months because I was so scared I couldn't lift. So I didn't put it even the toe on the ground.
Did I recall seeing a post you posted when you did your first squat, right?
Yes.
I remember that
Yes.
one. Yeah.
I was so happy.
What were your thoughts going into that squat?
When I first squatted?
If you can remember,
It was
right?
butterflies. It was like, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to explain. I'm gonna get emotional because lifting is so important in my life. I'm a crybaby. And thinking about me not lifting was like the hardest thing in my life. So the first time I squatted was like I had hope because I don't think I could have. I was thinking about you know how you dated someone, you've been married to someone for like 20 years and then you divorce them. Do you think about going to another person? No, it's like it was the same. Like what am I gonna do in my life? And I had nothing else to do. I didn't want to work anymore, so I refused to use my leg for like 4 months. And then even with pain, I had to go back to work. And instead of using my tissue, I put it in my pocket.
I was just looking for it. Like, wait a second, where did it go?
Of course I had to cry. There's another thing that everybody knows about me. I cry way too much, which is fine. I'm an emotional person. So I cried when I first squatted. Are you crying?
No.
Are you tearing up?
No.
I cried the first time I squatted. Actually, the first time I squatted wasn't on video. It was snowing, and I was outside in my brother's backyard, and I was trying to go past 90 degrees in my squat.
Okay. Past parallel.
Yes, and I did it, and I sat on the floor and started sobbing because that's when I realized that I actually have a hope to go back to lifting.
So when the injury first happened, did you think were you thinking in your head like upper body will be possible, but you were gonna lose the ability to squat, hack squat, deadlift? No. So you, regardless of what the doctor said, you knew it was gonna come back.
I didn't know, but I didn't think about it. When you're so scared of someone, you're so scared of something and you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
That's what I never thought about being able to come back or not. Like it wasn't even like an option for me. Like I told you, I didn't know if wouldn't have been able to live. I don't know what to say about it. Like I didn't think about it. I can't think about it.
When was your last
It's
leg
that
day?
bad. It's an addiction.
When was your last leg day?
So, because I just started my second job like 3 weeks ago, I've worked out once that 3 weeks, and it was a leg day.
What'd you hit on squats?
I tried 3 plates. I failed. I was so mad. But it's understandable. I hit 2 plates and a half for 2 reps. Yeah. My last leg day, I post every workout.
Right.
I make content of every, like, day of the gym. So if I work out every day, I have content every day. If I don't work out every day, I don't have content.
Why do you think the gym means so much to you? I mean, we talked about it. It's our identity, but are you able to elaborate on, why it's so? I mean, it's not just your identity.
It saved me from depression.
Yeah.
I saved myself from depression, but it saved me. It made me a happier person. it's not. I give up on everything on my life but the gym. It's because it's done so much for me. And when you think about it, it's you doing it for yourself, and we don't do a lot for ourselves. And that's the only thing that I do for myself. It's like me time.
Yeah.
So I refuse to work out with people.
You prefer working out alone?
If somebody knows what they're doing, I would enjoy the company. But if you're like a beginner, as you said earlier, I can't. It's because that's like a sacred time for me.
It's hard. Yeah.
I have to show you and work out with you, and like I'm not gonna be able to squat 3 plates because you're not gonna give me that energy to squat 3 plates because you're scared to squat half a plate.
Right.
But I could work out with people like not on my session. I would go for the second time to the gym if I want to work out with a beginner, if they're a friend.
Right.
Yeah, like tomorrow I'm working out with a guy that I just got to know. He works with me, and he hated going to the gym, and when he saw me on my Instagram, he got a membership because of me. And
That's
it's like
awesome.
as like friends. And he doesn't want to go to the gym if I'm not there because he feels like I would help him, motivate him. I would work out separately and go with him, but I wouldn't like work out like my regular. I do 9 sets on leg day of heavy exercises, and then I do accessories. I don't think that's normal, like, or healthy.
If work wasn't getting in your way, how long would a leg day last?
Oh, it lasts me 3 hours and a half the last time I went. I went at 7:30 and I left at 11.
Holy cow.
I take my time.
Do you time
No.
your breaks?
No.
On your heavy sets, how many minutes do you think you take approximately
I
in
feel my
between
body.
sets?
I don't.
So you just sort of rest until you're ready?
Yep.
Okay.
It just happens. When you go every day for 8 years, it's just there. Cuz counting makes me anxious. Like thinking about time and like that's why I go to the gym is to not be anxious.
Right.
And I just do me. I sit on the ground, I lay on the ground. My gym, they know. I'm local. I just do me. I lay on the ground. I take my shoes off if I need to. Sometimes I rest. If I work out with people, I feel like I need to rest less because I rest a lot. And that's what, like, powerlifters, I got that from powerlifting. And I lived for a long time. And I mixed powerlifting with bodybuilding. Because I've always had love for bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding. Not as, like, actually, like, building my body for, like, aesthetics. But for, like, mental-wise. It's like, I go and, like, focus, like, with my muscle, like, my muscle connection for 2 or 3 hours. And that, like, rarely happens. But then I got the strength from powerlifting. And I use both, and I call it power building.
Yes. Power building.
And I try to tell people to try it. And there's 2 people that actually started doing it, and they really like it.
Good.
Because powerlifting was just like a way for me to find myself, and like trust myself and believe in myself and give myself the confidence that I needed. And then I used that in bodybuilding, and because I always love bodybuilding, I feel like it's art. It's not a sport. I feel like bodybuilding is an art.
There's too much. I would agree with that. There's so much that goes into it that you could hurt yourself or just not maximize your efficiency if you're not doing it correct. A couple years ago, just 2 or 3 years ago, it was during COVID. I felt like my squat form wasn't that good and that it needed revamping. So I watched a couple different YouTube videos on it, and I found like 3 different YouTube videos, all with valid points. They were all like 10 minutes long. To be able to watch 30 minutes of content around one movement, like, yeah, it's not.
It's not normal.
There's a lot that goes into it.
That's why I told you I can't be friends with people that don't work out. It's not because of the gym. It's because the way it changes you, the person you become after you. It's like you give so much value to yourself, and if you don't give value to yourself, you can't give value to people. Or you can't get value from people. Give or get.
It's the same thing with kindness. Can you show others kindness if you're not kind to yourself every now and then?
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Maybe you do it so much until you burn out of it. But when you're kind to yourself, by experience, you can give much more than when you're not kind to yourself.
I have a question I have to ask you.
Yes.
Do you take pre-workout?
I'm addicted. That's my 3rd energy drink of the day.
How much do you think you consume in a 24-hour period?
Okay, so there's this pre-workout that I found by accident. It's called I Am God. Just the fact that it's called I Am God. In my religion, I'm not even supposed to say that, but...
And you're drinking it.
Okay, listen.
What would your parents say?
They don't know about it.
Would it be even worse if it said, like, I am goddess?
No.
Or, no, it'd be
I don't think God
equally...
God is not human to have a gender.
That's true. Okay.
So it doesn't matter if it's God or God. It's not human.
Okay.
He created human. He's not a human. Well, for me, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But It's called I Am God because it has 400 milligrams of caffeine in one scoop.
Whew.
I take 2. Yeah, I didn't buy it again because I know it's not healthy. I know.
Oh
But
my God.
today I've had 200 energy drinks, and that's my third one. So and that has 200 too. That was a gift. I wouldn't buy the second one, but that was a gift. God wanted me to take it. I've had 3 hours of sleep. I work so much. I don't have time to sleep.
So now that you're working 2 jobs, what's your workout schedule going to look like?
I haven't worked out in 3 weeks, and it's killing me.
When are you going to work out?
I don't know. You see how my face changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
We got to get you back in there.
I don't have time. So this is my schedule. I work from 1 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. I go home at 4:30. I sleep around 6. And I wake up at 12 and I have to go back to work at 1. It's not even 5 hours and a half of sleep. If I fall asleep. Because when you get out of work, you don't immediately fall asleep.
Right.
Fall asleep. You have to do something. Either shower, cook. Even if it's like at 4 a.m., it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just my day is a little bit switched. So I don't have time. If I had to take out of my sleep to work out, and I barely have any sleep. So as long as I'm working this schedule, I don't think. But for me, I've learned to prioritize. It doesn't matter what I like and what I don't like. I have to prioritize because I didn't have anything, and now I see that I'm starting to have something, and it's the necessity. I just bought a mattress. I've been sleeping on the floor for the past 2 months since I moved here. So I wouldn't have been able to buy that mattress if I didn't work that much.
If you weren't working.
But I feel like it's part of life. You work, you give, and you get, and this is me giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sacrificing my passion. It's not even a passion, it's a lifestyle, but yeah. It's deep. The gym is deeper than people think. People think it's like I'm just obsessed. It's all we have. It's like that's why we call ourselves gym rats. Because I think we're different.
Yeah.
Especially when you work and you do it, like that's your job. That's like my brother doesn't have a life outside of working out. That's his job. On the weekends, he hikes, he skates, he does sports, and back to work, it's sports. And I think that's good. When he's 90, he's not going to look 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a treasure.
Thank
you so much for being here tonight. Before we wrap this thing up, what do you see for yourself on the horizon? Do you even think 5 years down the road? Or when you think into the future, what's your timeline look like? If that makes sense.
This might come like as a surprise to people. I want to have a family. Like for me, that's one of my goals. People want to have a good job, good life. I want to have a family. It's because it's like value. I value people around me, and having a husband and children and parents and stuff, that's really important for me. And having that and my own gym, that would be dope.
I bet whoever your husband is, would you meet him anywhere other than the gym? Maybe not your gym, but like a gym somewhere.
Maybe,
a fitness expo,
I might meet them somewhere else, and the mindset of that person is there. But I would pull them to the gym.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because if I don't pull them to the gym, they're going to put me out of the gym. And that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to see for yourself happen in the next month? Any short-term goals? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for the next month, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing now. Working too much. He's having the time of his life.
He's so happy.
I know, he's so comfy.
I call him the little prince because he just lives this life of luxury. And I mean, look at him on the leather chair with the blankets.
Did you sleep like that when you were 4 months years old?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. But
comfortably? Or like wrapped up in blankies? Or
like, did you feel like that good too? When you lay down?
Yeah. Did you hear that sigh?
I did.
So comfortable.
I know. He's like, thank God.
We're talking about Thad, who's right off camera, sort of. He's so right cute. Behind it.
He has to be on camera sometime.
He will.
He will.
He's just too busy sleeping during these things.
Yeah.
Because I think this is where I work during the day, so I think he thinks I'm abandoning him and I'm working more, which I'm not. This isn't work. This is fun. But.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like I still need to be where in 1 or 2 months, I'm still going to be exactly where I am today, working a lot. Probably work out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's time for me to enjoy myself yet. I am enjoying myself while working. I feel like you have to enjoy yourself to work that much. If you can't work 14 hours if you're not enjoying it. But I think a couple more months and I'll be free. I'll be back.
Just need to cover a few more bills, get a few more things straightened away.
It's not even about the bills. It's just because, listen, this is reality. If you're tight on money, you can't live comfortably. Even, like, mentally. If you have bills to pay, if you have, like, you can't buy certain things, or you can't go out because you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough savings, or you get sick and you don't have stuff to pay. It's reality. It doesn't matter what you like and what you don't like, or if you're materialistic or not. You need to have money on your side.
Yeah.
And I feel like after what I've been through, if I had money on my side, it would have been so much easier. And I wasn't a saver. Now I'm a saver because of that. Big saver. So I feel like 2 or 3 months so I can get comfortable, so I can be more comfortable long term, not just short term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we should talk about?
You wanted to talk about my childhood and parents, and you didn't. Because we talked so much.
We pivoted to fitness and the injury and the
pivoted
person.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, we had a great conversation.
Yeah, I feel like everything is good.
If it makes you feel better, these questions that I come up with, I haven't made it all the way through the questions yet.
I know.
Which is how I want it to be. I want it to be organic.
Yeah, it's natural.
So, yeah, no, either you can come back and we'll cover those questions.
Of course.
Or I'd love to have you back. Do a check in like 3 to 6 months from now.
We could do a workout together.
Can we?
Yes, we can.
Yes. I'm going to hold you to that. Because you said you only work out with certain people.
No, I will. Well, you seem like the mindset is there, so it's okay.
I hope I don't disappoint you.
No, you won't.
I like to think I push myself pretty hard.
You have lifting shoes. You're already there. You're fine.
Maybe I got lifting shoes because I don't push myself hard. No, I'm kidding.
Doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Like,
I don't even know what that means.
No.
Okay. Hidaya, you have been Hidaya. I'm trying to pronounce that D
Hidaya.
more.
You want to know what's funny?
Hidaya?
Hidaya.
I almost tried to switch it to a Y.
Hidaya.
Hidaya.
Yes. You know what's funny?
Tell me.
You know, this is always how I end conversation with people when I have good, meaningful conversation. If you speak Arabic, you know the meaning of it. It means guidance and giftness from God. Like, good time, something good. So when I have a good conversation with someone, they always say, guidance, Hidaya, my name. That's what my name is, and that's what my personality is.
I like that.
Yeah.
And this has been a gift, honestly.
Thank you.
Out of all the places you could have been tonight, you could have been working out. You could have been doing, enjoying your new bed.
Yeah.
And you came here to have a conversation with Thad and me.
Yeah.
So Thad and I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I enjoyed it. I really am glad I came.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you came. If anyone wants to find one of the most inspirational pages that I found on Instagram, it's _the_vanilla. She's in Austin, Texas. You'll know the page when you found it. For anyone that really enjoyed this podcast, please, you guys, share it, like it, leave a review. If you're into fitness or know anyone that's into fitness, I feel like they would like this episode. We covered so much fitness related.
I feel like it's a life lesson.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You brought a lot to the table.
Thank you.
David Saturday Night Sit Back is on Instagram, so if you want to follow us for more upcoming episodes, you can follow us there. If you're a mega super fan and you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/sitbackwithdavid. If you're in Austin and you want to be a future guest on the podcast, either slide into the DMs on Instagram or you can email me at sitbackwithdavid@yahoo.com. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome Saturday night. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back.
I say this on Instagram all the time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. And